Oklahoma State head coach Jacie Hoyt, Taylen Collins, and Terryn Milton. Coach, welcome back to Kansas City. And if you'd like to offer an opening statement.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible game for both teams. Two really great teams that just play incredibly hard and have battled every time we've seen each other. And I'm just so proud of our team for their resilience, their gritty, tough-minded. I mean, just everything that you would want in a team. We got to have that today, and I just couldn't be more proud.
Questions for our student athletes. Front row.
Jacob Hunter with the Oklahoma. And Terryn, walk us through the last play and then what's going through your mind as the ball sits on the rim for 2 seconds or whatever.
It was a clear out play for me going to the right. I knew that they were going to help in. As far as the shot, it was a crazy shot. I felt like the ball was on the rim for a good 5 seconds. Felt like time just stood still for a second. And then it rolled in, and the rest is history. It's crazy.
Second row, inside aisle.
Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. Terryn, I'd like to ask is if you can recall a shot of yours that hung on the rim that long, and then after that, a lot wasn't going right for you guys, shooting, turnovers. Where or what flipped for you guys in that fourth quarter?
We just kept playing. We trusted in our game plan, and we kept shooting the ball. So we're a team that is really good at shooting, and so we're going to keep shooting no matter what. And eventually they were falling, and that's when our momentum started coming our way. So it was great to see the ball finally start to go in, and us finally start to close down on that lead.
Taylen, Ben Hutchins with the Ocali. I have a couple questions for you. The first one, it looked like you were right underneath the rim and the ball there at the end. Did you think he was going to go in?
I was believing that was going to go in, but if it was going out, I was going to try to get up there and tip it back in. It was going in one way or another.
And I mean, before the team really got going at the end of the game, Taylen, you kind of really were the only consistent source of offense. How did you kind of manage that stretch, and maybe with Claire, not being able to play today, how did you go into this one with your role?
I was just trying to do whatever I could to keep the momentum going and kind of pick up that slack when my team needed me to, especially grabbing anything that I could and trying to kick it out to our shooters and get them going as well. So,
Staying on the left side, second row.
Terryn, Davis Cordova with the Ocali. I mean, how big is it for you knowing to get a clear out play, down one, in a big game like this? How big is it for you to get that trust from the coaches?
It's huge. The coaches trusted me. My teammates trusted me. In the huddle, they all knew what time it was, and they wanted me to have the ball in my hands, and that means the world to me. And so that gave me all the confidence in the world to go out there and knock down the shot. So it's huge.
Question on the back riser.
Holden Cruzmark, Oklahoma's News 4. Terryn, your family has pretty good basketball history. Do you think this is the best moment?
That's a good question. My little brother, he's doing his thing. As we all know, Shake, he does his thing, but I would say this is number one. He would probably say the same thing.
Any other questions? Oh, front row, left side.
Terryn, you had the charge earlier in that minute too. How much was this a moment you wanted redemption for that?
I forgot all about that. Honestly, you can't hang your head on plays like that, especially when the game's so tight and it's all going to come down to one play anyway. If I were to hang my head on that play and let that get into my head, I wouldn't have been able to knock down the shot at the end. So that was out of my head, especially when we got the stop and I knew we could have one more chance to score. That was out of my head.
First row, right
Yeah,
side.
Barry Trammell with the Oklahoma. Taylen, you guys admittedly didn't play very well most of the day. Lots of turnovers, lots of missed shots. But to come back the way you did and win the way you did, do you think that can be an instigator going forward in this tournament?
we're going to clean up the stuff that we did. We knew that we made mistakes. We weren't trying to keep that out of our heads. We knew we needed to lock in at the end on the little things. And that was a point that Coach drove at halftime, is that it's just the little things that's going to carry us through this game. So we're definitely going to take that into consideration in the next games to come so we can clean that up a little bit too.
Last question from me. You know, a year ago, you had the coaching change, don't have a lot of players returning. Did you have wonder about what's going to happen? What's the future hold? And from there to now, and looking what you guys have done with this new roster, could you believe that you'd have this kind of transformation?
No, I mean, it's kind of unreal because we came into this year with a bunch of girls that we had no idea, had never even met. And so to be as connected as we are, to be as focused as we are, it's really amazing.
Our student athletes are free to return to the locker room. The Oklahoma State locker room is open. Questions now for Coach Hoyt.
Jacie, you talked about how this was kind of a fresh start to the season. Pretty good way to start it, I guess.
Well, it wasn't a good start for the first 39 minutes. It didn't feel like, but ultimately, you know, finding a way to win. It's the momentum that we were looking for, and can't think of a more dramatic way to get that momentum. It's not really how I would have liked to get it, but we'll definitely take it. But, you know, we were able, because of what we've been able to do all season, we were able to have a sense of freedom knowing that we didn't have to win that game to ultimately play in the tournament. But we knew that we were playing for a lot, and momentum was one of those things. Respect was another one of those things, and I think we got both of those.
Front row left side.
Jacie, where's your faith grown in Terryn throughout the year?
Well, Terryn's been doing stuff like this all season long, and I've just been the most blessed coach because it's not very often that you have a team that, you know, in situations like that, you can put the ball in multiple players' hands. But I felt like Terryn was just in a really good headspace, and you know, her length is something that really makes it hard for people to guard. You know, you could feel good about maybe like Mimi getting downhill, but she's so much smaller, and so you know, Terryn has just been able to do that all season long. She was very successful the first time we played West Virginia, so we felt confident just knowing kind of, you know, how we matched up. But she's a competitor. That kid competes, and you know, I haven't known her very long, haven't known her family very long, but that is one thing I would say, that family, just a special group of people that is very, very competitive and just wants to win at all costs.
Back row left side.
Hey Coach, Missy Hyder with the next. This backcourt of West Virginia, very hard to contain. Obviously they give you some fits today with Quinterly and Smith. Can you just talk a little bit about those struggles defensively of keeping them contained and what changes you're gonna have to make going forward here in the tournament?
Well, they're unbelievable. You know, I don't know how you stop them. I mean, there were several times we played really great defense and they still just scored. Madison Smith is playing at an incredibly high level right now. And, you know, we just talked at halftime about, hey, I mean, I don't even think she could see the rim on some of those shots she was making. She is a dang good player. And so I just told our team, you know, listen, like, we can't hang our heads when those shots go in. As long as we know we did everything we could have within the possession, you know, we gotta have a short-term memory and try and do your best the next time. They make you do that because, man, they're good. And, you know, you think sometimes you do a good job on one and then the other one is gonna get you. So I think that they're two of the best guards in the conference, and they've proven that all throughout the season. And then I think that as far as moving forward, you know, I'm not sure who we're gonna play, but it's two very different styles, and so I'm not sure that we're going to have to game plan the way that we had to game plan for them. We'll have, you know, different obstacles or challenges within the other teams, but I think those two players are really special.
Barry in the front row.
Yeah, Jacie, there are victories and there are comebacks, and then there are comeback victories like today, where ball hangs on the rim the way it did. Could you see this kind of game galvanizing not just this team, but even your fan base back home and saying, hey, I got to be a part of this. Look at what I saw today.
Well, I feel like, you know, I don't know why this is, but I just kind of feel like cowgirl basketball, it's just kind of how it is. Maybe I don't feel like nothing comes easy. We're very blue collar. We have to work, but we pride ourselves in that, and we don't back down from it. And I don't care who we're playing, I don't care what the situation is, we always believe we can win. And we have that belief because we work so dang hard. And I just feel that we've kind of been having our backs against the wall all season long from the start when we got picked ninth. And you know, we win big games, and still just kind of, it's like, I don't know what the deal is with that, but I know that we're used to it. I know that we're used to people betting against us. And our kids they're so resilient. Our fan base is resilient. Our fan base has been amazing. I can't imagine a more supportive fan base. I bleed orange. My husband and I bleed orange. My whole family bleeds orange because of the love that they have given to me and to my family. And so this was a huge win just for all of us. But I think that it's kind of going through those hardships and those battles that make the victories that much sweeter. And that's really kind of what today was about, I think.
Back riser, right
Chris
side.
Williams, News 9, Oklahoma City. Coach, what were those last 10 seconds like for you, watching Terryn go ISO and then obviously watching the shot fall the way it did?
We've had a tough last week and a half, you know. No one wants to go into March on a 3-game losing streak. And so one of the themes or the mottos that we've been talking about all week long is just that we are finishers. And we're gonna finish this thing out. We're gonna finish the season out. We're gonna finish possessions. We're gonna finish quarters. We're gonna finish games. And I was really able just to go into that last timeout and say, okay, we're finishers. This is what we've been saying all week long. And our kids responded really well. I loved our team's response when I said, Terryn, we're going to you. I love Terryn's response. And this team is special. I just couldn't be more proud of them.
Front row right side.
Yeah, Marshall Scott with PFB. What went in the decision? I think it was 13.3 left to hold for a final shot. And then also if you could just give us an update on Claire.
Well, I felt like we were able to get stops, right? So, we held them to 8 points in the fourth, and so I had the confidence in us offensively at that point to let's hold and not give them another opportunity. Again, I think it just goes back to finishing and the confidence that I had in them to finish it out, and we set the time that we wanted to go at. Felt like that gave us enough time to score it and not give them the ball back, but also to give us an opportunity at a tip in if we needed to offensively.
Front row left side.
Coach, you've played West Virginia 3 times now. Do you believe they deserve to be in the NCAA tournament, and if so, why?
Well, I said it before, I do believe that. I do believe that. I think that they're playing their best basketball right now, and we've been able to see their momentum and what they've been able to do against the top teams in our conference. I think who wouldn't want to watch those two players in Quinterly and Smith? I mean, my goodness, they put on a show. You want to talk about ratings and women's basketball? Watch those two; they're phenomenal. And I just think that with the way that they finished in conference and the way that they're playing right now, I'm not super into the net and all that stuff. I probably should be better. But I just think that with the momentum that they have and the way they're playing right now, I think that they're a team that should still be able to play in March.
Second row left side.
Jacie Taylen today pulled down 15 rebounds, 6 of 9 from the field. How important was she today to the win?
She was phenomenal. We don't win that game without Taylen in the third and fourth quarter. I mean, she was just the engine that made us go. I remember a possession, she got 3 offensive rebounds, and they weren't just coming to her. She was battling, she was fighting for them, and I thought that just toughness and that grit that she showed in those possessions kind of woke our team up and re-energized us. Taylen was she was really special today.
Coach Hoyt, congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.